Welcome everyone to week 4 of the 28-day challenge. So this week is all about planning for success, not just for these 28 days, but for your long-term health and confidence. We know that real change doesn't happen from willpower alone. It actually comes from building simple, repeatable habits that fit into your real life. So today, for the last week, we're going to talk about how to turn everything you've learned so far into a lifestyle that you can actually maintain without stress, without perfection, and definitely without guilt. So over the past 3 weeks, you've gathered an incredible toolkit. You've learned how your metabolism works, how food fuels your body, and also how movement supports everything your body is trying to achieve. Today, I'm going to help you bring all of that together because seeing results for a few weeks is great, but learning how to continue these results in a sustainable way is life-changing. We'll talk through some simple strategies, everyday tools, and also some easy habits that help people succeed long term, long after the initial excitement wears off. Before we move forward, let's quickly reflect on what you've already learned. Week 1 was all about metabolism. So, what it is, what speeds it up, and also what slows it down. You've learned that metabolism isn't fixed, it's actually something that you can influence through food, movement, stress, and also sleep as well. In week 2, we focused on nutrition principles. So we talked about fiber, protein, healthy fats, carbohydrates, and also why they matter. So you've learned how different nutrients support your energy levels, your hormones, blood sugar regulation, and your overall metabolic health. In week 3, we discussed exercise strategies. We explored different types of movement, so not extreme workouts, but simple, achievable exercise that helps build muscle, maintain our fitness levels, and also support insulin sensitivity. And all of this combined together sets the foundation for long-term success. So let's talk about planning because planning is what turns good intentions into real action. We often think motivation is the key to staying on track, but the truth is motivation can obviously waver and it can come and go. What actually keeps people consistent is their environment and their habits. Planning reduces decision fatigue. So if you've ever opened a fridge and thought, I have no idea what to eat, you've experienced decision fatigue. When we're tired, stressed, or rushed, we default to the easiest option. And planning helps remove that stress. It keeps healthy choices right in front of you, and it stops unplanned eating and emotional eating before they happen. And most importantly, planning reinforces all the metabolic patterns you've built over the last month. Some examples of planning beyond the 28 challenge are listed here. And one of the simplest planning strategies is essentially to keep healthy food visible and accessible. So if the first thing you see when you open your fridge is cut up veggies, yogurt, or ready-made meal, you're far more likely to choose it. Another tip is stocking your freezer. So for example, having BeFit food meals and snacks readily available means you always have a backup option for the days when cooking can feel impossible. And also, don't forget the idea of reducing temptation as well. If certain snack foods tend to throw you off track, or try and keep them out of the house or buy them in smaller amounts. And most importantly, prepare for busy days. These are going to be the days where we usually fall back into old habits because life can get the better of us. So start planning ahead, and that will help to protect your success. Let's look at something really important too, which is called the relapse loop. So everyone experiences this at some point, and it usually happens as per the graphic on the slide here. So usually a trigger happens, you have a lapse, and you end up feeling guilty, and then you think, well, I've ruined it now, and end up giving up. But we want to shift this thinking. So instead, we want to aim for a trigger, a lapse, noticing and recognizing that we have lapsed, resetting, and then continuing on. It's more so recognizing and noticing that a lapse is not a moment of failure. It's simply just a moment. And a moment does not often define your progress or your success long term, because the people who end up succeeding long term are not the ones who never have slip ups. They're often the ones who are able to learn to reset quickly and to continue on. Certain situations can also make healthy choices more difficult to sustain. So some examples can include traveling, social events, exhaustion, emotional stress, and also busy work weeks. So instead of being surprised by these moments, we plan for them. So that might look like bringing some portable protein snacks, pre-ordering healthier meals at a restaurant, reducing our alcohol consumption, and also scheduling exercise earlier in the day. And these small actions can help you prevent a minor lapse from becoming a complete derailment. Another strategy that can also work incredibly well is having emergency alternatives ready to go. So think of these as your security nets or your safety nets. When life can get a bit messy, and it will, these will be your fallbacks to ensure that you can get yourself back on track. Things like freezer meals, pre-cut veggies and dip, some yogurt and berries or protein shakes, and even a little 10-minute walk before eating can actually help you to reset your hunger cues. So when your environment is set up for success, you don't often actually need willpower because the decisions end up becoming automatic. And one of the most freeing concepts is the 80-20 approach. This can mean that 80% of your meals are structured and nutrient dense options, and 20% of your meals or food choices are flexible and without guilt. And this can help you prevent the all or nothing mindset, which can be quite dangerous because this can help you actually to build a balanced approach that you can live with rather than feeling like you're constantly in ebbing and flowing between two extremes. A great tool also as well for making habits stick is habit anchoring. So this means that we attach a new habit to something that we already do on a daily basis. So for example, having a protein-rich breakfast after your morning shower, or having a short 10-minute walk after you finish eating a meal, strength training after the school drop-off, or drinking water every time you check your work emails. And this can actually work because our brain recognizes the existing routine as a cue. And once the new habit is attached, it can actually become more automatic and make the habit formation less effortful. In terms of food labels, let's take a moment to look at how to read food labels because these labels can be quite confusing, especially if you're not used to interpreting them. The easiest way to compare foods is by using the per 100-gram column on the label. This puts everything on an even playing field so that you can compare products quickly and not have to overanalyze anything. So here's a simple guide essentially to using the per 100-gram column to compare similar foods. With sugar, we want to try and choose foods with less than 15 grams of sugar per 100 grams because the more sugar there is in food, this can actually trigger more hunger spikes and also energy crashes as well. With fiber, we want to try and aim for 3 grams or more fiber per serving, and 5 grams or more is considered excellent. Fiber is important, as mentioned in week 2, because it helps keep digestive health and sugar. With protein, higher protein options are better for satiety and metabolism. And with sodium, generally, we want to aim for less than 400 milligrams of sodium. 100 is generally better as well, especially for heart health and reducing bloating. So food labels themselves don't have to be overwhelming. Once you actually know what to look for, they can actually become a very helpful tool for making better choices and more mindful choices when grocery shopping. In terms of looking out for certain things on food labels, we want to be aware of a few things. In terms of sugar, sugar doesn't always appear listed as sugar on the ingredients list, and it can actually hide on the ingredients list under many different names. So names like agave syrup, brown sugar, fructose, glucose, honey, molasses, malt syrup, and many, many more. And if a product has several of these listed, it's usually a sign that it is a more processed and food and is also less supportive of stabilizing your energy levels and your blood sugar levels. We also want to be aware of low fat foods because although many low fat products are lower calorie, they can actually have a high added sugar content to improve its taste because once we remove the fat, that can actually affect the palatability of the food item. So although they may sound healthy and low calorie, these low fat products can actually have the potential of spiking your blood sugar levels more quickly. Ultra processed snacks as well often contain artificial additives and emulsifiers and more artificial ingredients. And these can irritate the gut and also increase inflammation in the body. With the RDIs or the recommended dietary intakes, these are basically defined as daily nutrient amounts that most people need. So meeting these nutrient targets can actually help to prevent deficiencies that slow your metabolism and also reduce your energy levels. And they support everything from thyroid function to cravings to your immune system. And the goal is not perfection. It's simply making sure that your body has what it needs to work efficiently. So think of nutrients like building blocks. When your body has enough, everything tends to run a bit more smoothly. In terms of RDIs, these are the RDIs for some of the most important nutrients for stabilizing your metabolism. So with protein, most people need around 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. And as I mentioned many times, protein is a nutrient that helps keep you full and also support your muscle mass, which is a key for stabilizing your metabolism. With fiber, we want to aim for around 25 to 30 grams a day of fiber to support our gut and also regulate our appetite. Iodine, selenium, and zinc help to support your thyroid, which play a major role in regulating metabolism. And iron and B12 are essential for energy production because often when we're low in these nutrients, we tend to feel very sluggish or brain foggy as well. With vitamin D and magnesium, these help to support insulin sensitivity, our sleep quality, and also our bone density, which are all important for overall well-being. So overall, small consistent improvements to these particular nutrients in our diet can actually lead to big improvements in how you feel on a day-to-day basis. With prebiotics and probiotics, our gut plays a major role in metabolism, inflammation, appetite, and also digestion. So it needs the right environment to flourish. And with prebiotics, these are a type of fiber that feed the good bacteria in our gut, and they help to increase the diversity of our microbiome and also strengthen the gut lining. With probiotics, they are beneficial bacteria, so they help to balance our gut, support digestion, improve insulin sensitivity, and also reduce inflammation. So our gut plays a significant role in appetite regulation. Certain gut bacteria can actually help to produce hormones that keep you feeling fuller for longer. So when you end up supporting your gut by supporting both prebiotics and probiotic intake, this can actually help to support your metabolism, your hunger cues, and also your overall health and well-being. And an advantage of the BeFit food range in particular is that many of our products actually contain both prebiotics and also probiotics present, so you don't actually have to think too hard about it. So things like our protein balls, our cookies, and also the protein booster already contain ingredients that help to nourish and support a healthy gut environment. And then when you combine this with the high fiber nature of our meals, this actually helps to create the right conditions for long-term metabolic health. And something that's also worth noting as well, in terms of the importance of gut health, is that BeFit Food worked with Deakin University on a study in 2025, which compared two types of very low energy diets. So one group ate the whole food meals, which was BeFit Food, whilst the other used supplement-based items like shakes and bars. And both groups had similar calories and nutrients matched up. And the main difference was that one group was eating real food, and the other was mainly eating the supplements like the shakes and the bars. In terms of the overall findings, both groups had lost a similar amount of weight. However, the gut microbiome diversity in the BeFit food cohort actually improved by 40%. So this meant that they experienced fewer side effects than the shake-based group as well. And also the gut bacteria shifted in a more positive and healthy direction, leading to improved metabolic flexibility. So that means that their body became much more capable at switching between carbohydrates and fat. So in terms of the importance of the study, this study basically shows us that what you eat matters just as much as how you eat. So whole foods provide us with many benefits that supplements and shakes simply cannot match, especially when it comes to your gut health. And this reinforces that BeFit food meals help support more than just weight loss. They help you to support your entire metabolic system, helping you maintain your results and also feel healthier overall. With regards to monitoring our progress, tracking our progress helps to reinforce positive changes, and it can give us motivation because it shows improvements that you can't always see on a scale. And it can also help you to build consistency when you track so that you stay more aware of your habits, and that awareness leads to better choices. And progress also is not just about your weight. Many of you will have noticed changes in your energy levels, clothing fit, our mood, sleep quality, or even your hunger patterns. And these are also just as important as the weight loss alone. When it comes to weighing yourself, the most important thing is choosing an approach that feels supportive rather than stressful or restrictive. Some people prefer weighing daily because it helps them see patterns. Others prefer weekly because it feels less emotional. And both are fine at the end of the day. Essentially, choose what you feel is going to be best for you to see progress and stay on track. And remember that weight can actually fluctuate. So weight will naturally fluctuate from day to day because of water, hormones, sleep, and even the weather as well. So rather than focusing on a single number, look at the overall trend that you're reporting. Waist circumference is also a great indicator of metabolic health and is actually considered a much better indicator of metabolic health than scales alone, because carrying extra fat around the midsection is often linked to higher cortisol, insulin resistance, and also tracking your waist can help you understand how these deeper systems in your body are also improving. And in terms of measuring it accurately, you measure at your belly button, you relax your stomach, and also take a reading generally every 2 weeks to track your progress. This can help give you a clearer picture of changes in your body composition, and particularly look at how much body fat you've lost around your midsection. Body composition scales are also worthwhile looking into if you have access to this, because the scale, or typical bathroom scale, I should say, doesn't tell you what your weight is actually made up of. And body composition can give you that detail, and that detail is actually what matters because you want to ensure that your weight loss is actually coming from body fat majorly rather than muscle mass. So in terms of body composition, this is important because more muscle means a faster metabolism and better blood sugar control. Less visceral fat, which is the fat around our organs, often results in less inflammation in the body and also better long-term health. And also better hydration levels help to support our digestion, our energy, and also our appetite regulation. And this is why body composition can provide a much clearer picture than just weight alone. Body composition results can also be used to guide your goals as well. So, for example, if you see your muscle mass improving, that's a great sign that your metabolism is getting stronger. And if your visceral fat is reducing, that's also an excellent sign for long-term health. And repeating these scans every 2 to 4 weeks can help you to track trends. And you can also use the results to adjust your protein targets, your exercise routine, or even the timing of your meals so that your nutrition ends up supporting the goals that you're wanting to achieve. Blood tests can also give you some valuable insight into your metabolic health. So fasting blood sugar glucose, for example, shows your baseline blood sugar regulation. Your HbA1c gives you a 3-month picture of your average blood sugar readings. And also your fasting insulin is particularly important because high insulin levels, particularly in the fasting state, can often show early insulin resistance even before the blood sugar levels start to rise. And high insulin as well also often leads to abdominal fat storage, increased cravings, and also often cravings for processed foods and high sugar foods. So these tests, particularly with the blood glucose and insulin, can help you actually understand what's happening inside beyond what you see on the outside. Cholesterol levels can also show how well your body is managing fats as well. So, for example, high triglycerides, low HDL, or high LDL cholesterol can all be signs of early metabolic dysfunction. And liver function tests look at liver enzymes like ALT, AST, and GGT. And when these are elevated, it can often indicate that there is inflammation in the liver or fatty liver, which both are a sign that your liver is under some sort of stress and often an indication that your metabolism can be a bit slow. So these tests, the lipid profile and also the liver function test, can actually help to catch early signs of issues so that you can address them before they become bigger problems. In terms of the thyroid panel is also worthwhile looking into as well as part of ongoing monitoring of your health because the thyroid is responsible for controlling your metabolism. It regulates your energy levels, temperature, and also your metabolic rate as well. And in terms of a thyroid panel, it typically includes TSH, free T4, and free T3, and sometimes also thyroid antibodies. And you can also check things like iodine, selenium, and zinc, which are all minerals that are relevant for thyroid function. And these nutrients can actually help your thyroid produce hormones more effectively. So if your thyroid isn't functioning well, it can actually affect your mood, your metabolism, and also your energy levels, and also your weight as well. So it's actually an important part of the bigger picture. And in terms of other nutrients as well, so iron and ferritin, low levels can obviously indicate fatigue and also slow down your metabolism. With B12, it's important for energy production. With vitamin D, it supports our hormones, bone health, and also insulin sensitivity. And magnesium is really helpful when it comes to blood sugar regulation, sleep quality, and also energy regulation. So all of these nutrients, different vitamins and different minerals, can actually help to support the foundation of good metabolic health. Chronic inflammation as well is something that can also slow down metabolism, disrupt hormones, and increase insulin resistance. So blood tests like CRP, ESR, and homocysteine show whether inflammation is present in the body. And if they're elevated, it doesn't always mean something serious, but it can often be a sign that your body is under a degree of stress. And reducing inflammation can be possible through food, through regular movement and physical activity, improved sleep, and also stress management techniques. So as you wrap up the 28-day challenge, it's important to remember that your journey does not end here. You now have a range of different options depending on your goals, your lifestyle, and also how much support you want going forward. So in terms of each program here, these are some BeFit food programs that you can consider using beyond the 28-day challenge, and we'll also discuss who it's most suitable for as well. So with the BeFit food maintenance program, this is what we would consider to be a flexible, ongoing eating structure using BeFit food meals mixed with a whole food diet. So this usually means that you're having one BeFit food meal a day plus some whole food meals and snacks. And it's suitable for anyone who's wanting long-term maintenance and steady weight maintenance as well. And in terms of intermittent fasting, this is a plan that pairs intermittent fasting, so like a 16-8 structure or something similar, with low carb, high protein meals that support stable blood sugar and fullness. And it's great for people who naturally prefer maybe bigger meals later in the day, or anyone who feels better in terms of improved energy levels with a time restricted eating window. It's also a great idea for those wanting to improve metabolic flexibility and also for individuals who enjoy clear guidelines but still want some flexibility with their eating patterns. And intermittent fasting often works best when the eating window includes nourishing, balanced meals, and that's exactly what this program supports. With the reset programs, these are basically a 7-day or 14-day reset program that we're discussing. And these are shorter, more condensed versions of the 28-day challenge that help you to reset habits, reduce bloating, support gut health, and also help bring your metabolism back into a steady rhythm. So this is great for anyone who's noticing their routine slipping, people who regain perhaps a small amount of weight and want a quick reset, and also those who want a structured program every couple of months. So this can often be helpful because you can think of it as a bit of a seasonal tune-up, and it can help you stay aligned with your long-term goals and also stop small lapses from becoming long-term backward steps. And we also offer individual meals as well for BeFit food. So this means that you don't need to follow a structured program all the time. And sometimes simply just having some meals or snacks in the freezer is enough to stay on track. So this might be great for shift workers, those with unpredictable work schedules in general, those who are experiencing stressful or high workload periods, or anyone who just wants a healthy backup on hand. And this is really helpful because most people tend to go off track when not because they lack motivation, but simply because life often gets too busy and we don't plan. So having some nutritious meals ready to go can help you to remove the stress of decision making and also prevent reactive or emotional eating. So these programs are not a one size fits all program. They're all flexible options which you can move between depending on what's happening in your life. So whether you want a daily structure, occasional resets, or some backup meals for busy weeks, there is a pathway that can support you to maintain your results long term. And the goal really isn't perfection. It's simply having tools that make sustainable habits realistic in your everyday life. And we just prepared an example of what a simple balanced maintenance plan can actually look like. So the structure here is quite flexible. So it could be a mixture of like different BeFit food meals and some whole food meals as well, usually focusing around lean protein and low carb vegetables or high fiber foods in general. So this style of eating is easy and it can support your metabolism and fit into any sort of lifestyle. And BeFit food can often work long term because it takes the guesswork out of healthy eating. So the meals are high in protein to help you maintain muscle and are low in carbohydrates or low GI carbohydrates to stabilize blood sugar. And the portion controlled aspect of the meal without needing to count calories. And one of the biggest benefits is the convenience aspect of the meals because these meals are ready to go, ready to heat up, and can help you to reduce decision fatigue, which is one of the biggest barriers in terms of maintaining consistency. In short, it can actually make healthy eating much more simple, and simplicity is often leads to long-term success. So in summary, plan ahead to reduce your decision fatigue. Use label reading to choose whole foods where possible or healthier foods where possible. Consume a balanced diet to meet your RDIs to support metabolic health. Support your gut microbiome with fiber and probiotics and prebiotics as well. Monitor progress in multiple ways to ensure that you're not getting derailed when you see a bad result in one aspect. Use the BeFit food programs and meals as an ongoing structure to support your healthy habits long term and focus on building sustainable habits with consistency rather than perfection. And I'll just pass it over to Kate for the Q&A.
Thank you everyone for joining, and we hope that you've had a really beneficial time participating in the challenge, that you've taken advantage of having a dietitian consultation with Wendy, and if you haven't, please make sure that you do this. And last of all, good luck in the last week. If you are still continuing in the challenge, don't forget to make sure that if you're looking for maintenance, that you get your order in later this week so that you don't miss out on getting food delivered for next week. We will now move to a Q&A and end the recording. Thank you.